Alrighty, guys. So, I had a sudden urge not to make another map. I don't think that'll happen. at least not for a while. Just because, I tried to make a sequel to Just Jump, and, fix all the issues that map had. It was, in some places, horrendous, but I think overall it turned out pretty good. Instead, I decided to play through some of my old maps, give feedback. Obviously, for stuff like Find the Button and whatnot, I know where all that is. I still have it locked away in my memory. And I kind of talk about how I've grown and make this a whole series, because I actually feel like I'd have fun playing through my old maps and just kind of reminiscing and giving you guys some good tips on how to beat my things. I think the only video of mine that wasn't a trailer that I did a map was my Pafab walkthrough, and that was recorded at like 20 frames per second. So I just wanted to, play through my maps again, really just get into the nitty-gritty about how I grew and how maybe you can make your own maps. So to start us off, we have Tricraft. Yeah, my first published map, I should say, I'll get into that in a bit, was Tricraft. And this is kind of what I started with. Nobody really played it. I don't recommend you play it now. I think we'll get into a point with this series where I do start to recommend the maps. They're like of okay quality. You can see I didn't bother adding a brew or making the most ornate things. I wasn't the best builder. Still, I'm not a very good builder. But I, gave you details on how many levels there were for each section, signs. It's not the worst spot. And a fun little golden button. I think what I had to do was I had everyone visit credits and rules first. So like if you try to go here, yeah, it tells you to check out credits. Just, not everybody wants to look at the credits. I don't remember that, but I mean, now that I pressed it, it's kind of funny that I added myself all the rules. Of course, that was meant for me. I don't know why I put the button under myself. You should obviously do it in rows as opposed to vertically and then put the sign right there. Wasn't very smart. Thunder Gabe didn't work on this map. He's a different YouTuber. He had to kind of jump to reach that button. And I recommended him. This is the first map I talked about him, and I guess the only one. But I always recommend this guy. He's family friendly, super funny. He doesn't post much anymore. He obviously has his own job that he does. He doesn't do YouTube full time. But I super appreciate them, and all these other friends I'm still in close contact with today. I'm about to get out of here. Alrighty. Rules. Let's go to rules. What did I say? TheSwagUnicorn joined the game. Oh, yeah, this is when I started getting into... No, actually, the map before this I got from Telraw. I joined the game. TheSwagUnicorn. Hey, this is not my first map. Oh, a little too fast. I also made a map for the YouTuber Preston Plays, his fan base. It had quite a few typos, and the chat went fast, just like here. Anyways, I'll try to keep this brief. This is a map consisting of 3 sections: parkour, find the button, and trivia. At the end of each area, there will be a piece of wool that you have to collect. Now, time for the rules. Number 1, do not under any circumstances look up answer to the trivia. How about no cheating in general, okay? And number 2, try not to not have fun. I mean, that's that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, even that. So I did want you to have fun. That's good. Number 3, finally, you must also check out the credits room. I was one step ahead of you, and I think a title card just flashed up, but I was too busy reading the rules to really see it. So I think that was just title, myself. And then I left the game. So the map I made for Preston Plays, the video is still up on his channel, and he did play it. I think it's called, like, Found My Secret USB or something. I'm not super big into him anymore, obviously, especially as he moved towards a lot more roleplay stuff. But I was a super big fan of today, and I still think he's a great YouTuber for a younger audience. This is obviously who he's trying to appeal to. And, I mean, yeah, it was a fan-based map, a lot of tropes, a lot of people he's played with, quite a few typos, as the thing said. But this is my first publicly published map, so let's see how I did. I think I'm going to start with parkour, because I have not freshened up my skills in a while. And then this is one thing that I didn't really learn even until after Just Jump, is how to, like, rotate people when you teleport, because otherwise when you use the teleport command, it'll just kind of teleport them the way they're facing. So in this case, I'm facing a corner, and that's no good. We want them to be facing the map when they spawn in, so they can have that kind of fresh start. Okay, so to get us started off, we got, a nice interior here. Not too bad. This is the old chest texture. This is in 1.13.2, by the way. So some of these textures might be broken, especially with some of my texture packs. Not everything's gonna look fantastic, but I mean, it's still good. I think there are better ways to do skyboxes now, but this is a fantastic way. Like, if you're just starting to build a thing and you want like an outside environment, just this funny little skybox with light blue concrete and white concrete for some different shaped clouds at different spacings, that kind of thing. I did everything by hand, by the way. There was zero world edit in this map and a lot of the future maps. I taught myself how to use /fill in the map I made for Preston Plays, but I did not think to use it to create the skybox, because I wasn't using 100% of my brain. And this one, obviously, you can keep the trapdoors. The idea was you didn't, and oh, I was smart, so I did put barriers here so you can't walk along the edge. But nonetheless, you can do this. Let's do that. That is a header, so you got to be careful when you're doing that. And one thing that I wanted to learn from making parkour maps is right here. So there are barriers right here, so you can't jump right there, but as a map person, maybe I'm like, oh, maybe I can just go sneak right here. Typically, if you are trying to stay on the beaten path, you will be fine in most maps. It's just a silo. Especially most of my maps. But I took this same concept of, oh, you should stay on the beaten path and you won't be punished, and applied it to different maps where the parkour wasn't as obvious, and then I punished people for trying to experiment with new ways to jump in place, and there weren't checkpoints in much harder versions of the parkour. So it was super frustrating for people, and I could tell based off comments and whatnot that, yeah, that was not a good thing for me to do. And that's a lot of these lessons I only learned until you try. Let's try this right here, right here. Jump, jump. Be pretty forgiving. Alright, guess we didn't make it. Give me 1 second. Alright, level 2 of the pool. Again, with the teleport thing. So with the rotation commands, all you have to do, I probably should have shown you, is we have to do /TP tilde tilde tilde. Let's say you want to face them in there, and we had to say facing. Or I should say at a relative coordinates this way. Facing, we want them to be facing, we can either have them facing an entity or facing a certain set of coordinates. Or there's another way to do it where you rotate the player a certain number of degrees based off of like what the rotation currently is. And that's a little bit more complicated to do, but I digress. So it's actually pretty important for this map is you want to get into this, or for this level I should say, you want to get into this employees area only area. You have to do that with a random key. I'm gonna place this right here. Boom. Reach in, and we need this cleaning net pole. Now, I didn't tell anybody this, I didn't like explain it in the map anyway, so if you had gotten all the way around and around and around, and then gotten to that umbrella over there, then you would have been stuck and you'd have to quit the parkour. Easy, no saving, no whatever. So we start with the diving board. And ideally, we should successfully make the jump, right? Assuming we don't have lag spikes. That would be the ideal. Man, I really am rusty, aren't I? Up. And come on. Okay, I know how to make this jump, I'm just doing it wrong each time I get up there. So the way you want to do this is you want to sprint towards the end. So maybe I start off with this and then I sprint like this. And I mean, that was a lot closer. Obviously, I didn't land far enough along the slime block, but let's try that again, shall we? Oh. Pretty hard jumps. I could do most of these jumps, right? And to me, when I started building parkour maps, as long as it was doable by me, clearly everybody could do it, even if that took me 1,000 tries, you know, worth of practice. That I would assume that means everybody would love this map as much as I do, so clearly they would want to do this 1,000 times. No, it does not make it entertaining or enjoying. And that's still something I struggle with, because what's hard for me, what's hard for other people is difficult. And my problem with this map and some of the later maps is I did not listen to my beta testers at all. Typically it was for design choice, or to see if anything was broken, but I didn't actually listen to their feedback. And that's, I'm going to compare it to like writing. So in writing, you know, there are revisions and then there's editing. I would see if there's anything that needed to be edited, but I would never revise anything. Revising's like, oh, maybe this paragraph could have sounded better in this way. And whereas editing is, oh, you forgot a comma. Or that was supposed to be capitalized as it's a proper noun. So, you know, it was just kind of that sort of thing. So if you have friends or you have family members, even if they're not like into map building, or even if they're not great at parkour, take their feedback into account. You can look at it through a critical lens if you want, right? So maybe somebody, you have a friend who sucks at parkour, right? And they're like, this map is way too hard, no way, but they're on like, I don't know, the bajillionth level, and that's why it's hard. Maybe discern from that, oh, maybe I should ease them into this, or maybe there are some worse players, maybe I can give them an easier way out if they are rewarded for looking around the area I've built. So always try to make your maps have the widest appeal. Okay, I'm gonna hunker down now and try to make this jump, because clearly talking and parkouring is not my specialty. If you've seen my one and only Miss Awards episode that I put out, I don't know, maybe I'll do another one of those. I just gotta have a good topic to talk about. Alright, hunkering down. Alright, now we're here. Jump from our beach ball to umbrella. And jump in this little owl bird. I don't know, I looked at bird heads and owls were the only one that came up. I remember that distinctly. And then I had to make this wool different, but because I'm colorblind, these look the most similar. So I'm like, oh yeah, nobody's gonna be able to really tell the difference unless they look closely. And obviously we can only place the iron bars there because we're in adventure mode. Now this is a stinky jump. Because you can't really gain momentum, because you need to be on top of this block to get up here. So the only way to gain momentum would be to do something like this, where you kind of just barely jump forward, and then as you're falling, you start sprinting. And yeah, it's not a really easy jump, but we want to make sure we're lining ourselves up with the corner to corner as close as we possibly can be, and then we can make it like that. And boom, we're done. The other thing you'll notice with this first map that I've made is I did not know how to do like relative commands, if that makes sense. Like I knew how to use tildes and whatnot to teleport me relatively, right? Because if I want to go up if I want, I can just do that. But I didn't know how to like detect a button press that was farther away. So all the pressure plates and buttons that you see will have command blocks right next to them. And that's totally fine. Like, if you're just starting out, that's great. But sometimes it can be pretty limiting when you're map building. It's like, oh, I really want my ending to be right here in the center, but there's no good way to hide the command block. So I guess I gotta move to the edge in this not so good looking spot. I love ladder parkour. I still do. I don't understand why people don't like it. But I constantly, I remember this vividly, had to teleport my friends up to this spot and other spots during I was their own checkpoint during this. If there was one thing I'd do differently is some of the longer levels in this, I wouldn't have done it for the pool level, but maybe something like this, I might have added a checkpoint at, stupid lag spike. I would have added a checkpoint up at that light right there. I tried to build a nice movie theater. I think the atmosphere really works if you're watching a movie, assuming you didn't have night vision right. But otherwise, I think this actually worked out pretty well for like one of my first bigger builds. I think the movie screen's nice. I think the lights work perfectly, because I remember thinking about how movie lights worked, right? Because they do have these kind of cups under them, so they don't really make it super bright for all the audience, even as they dim or as they're fully on, but it still lights the room, you know? So let's keep on going. The point was, you get this button, and now we can head to the exit. And what I did for this one, I think, is I had observers. Yeah, you can kind of see them right there. So when I press this button and open the door, it looked like, oh, okay, now we're at level 4. Great. This was a stupid one. I'll admit, I really like the design of this level. I think this was probably the most creative I got with building. But if you didn't know about this trick, you'd think I didn't add any way for you to complete the parkour. I did. I promise. But essentially, what the trick is you take damage from the cactus, and if you time it right, you will get boosted up. And it is super hard. I wouldn't say hard, because it's not like it's based off skill or difficulty. It's just random luck. So it's kind of difficult to get right, and you kind of gotta hope for lag, because that lag actually helps in this scenario. So we're not going to deal with that. That's a thing you can do if you want, but that's how you're meant to beat the map. Jump on sand, and I feel like I remember this being frustrating to my beta testers, because they get up here and they see that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's a secret behind there, and then they jump down and go look behind there, and then they lose their spot, because there's not actually anything behind there. That's just so I could place the cactus. And I did try with other methods, at least in 1.13 this didn't work, by setting block cactus or whatnot, but it just, it didn't work. It would just break the cactus, even before a block update. So that was kind of a letdown for them, but you're supposed to slime block here, and then boom. And then you can't walk across here, which you could have easily just fallen right there, and that would be frustrating. Good way to make the quad is not come up here, because you can do here if you kind of zigzag it, but it's risky. But come up here. Maybe I miscalculated, and wow, we made it. First try. Make the quad, essentially. That's all I'm trying to say. This was a tough jump, but not if you time it like that. The cactus jumps themselves aren't bad. You just gotta wait for the ticks. And then this one, the last paint jumps are insufferable, but not these. It's only when they're just like around the corner. So if it's this and then this, that would have been horrible. I remember that's how I originally had it, because I just wanted to go up the tower. But then I remember struggling on it too much. I'm like, that's the one moment of clarity I had. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't torture people who are willing to give my map a try, you know? They're not all masochists. Alright, level 5. Hey, look, I got the teleporting right. I think that was just by luck or happenstance. Another thing that I'd recommend is, it's just a convenience thing, but you should put the start of the parkour, like for this one, near where you spawn in the player, because otherwise they just kind of gotta go exploring for it. I mean, it depends on the kind of map you want to do, but sometimes that's worth it. A lot of my friends try to jump from here to here, which is a possible jump, but that's only because they didn't see this glass pane. So always, unless it's literally the point of your map, always make the parkour obvious so people know where to go, because it's nothing more frustrating to try to make a jump and then realize you can't do that. Because what if I had put a barrier here? I realized this is possible, and I put a barrier right here so that you couldn't jump here from here to there, and you'd actually look like you were going to make it, and then you just didn't, because map creator said, no, that's not how you're supposed to do it. It's that kind of thing. That's what I was referencing earlier. So what my friends tried to do is, they got tired of the parkour, even with my teleporting checkpoints that I personally gave them. They swam to the top of the waterfall, and they punched each other up this so they can end the map, or at least end the parkour section, which, fair play. If you're playing multiplayer, feel free to do that. I don't really care. You guys play how you want to play, as long as you are having fun, I think should be the point of the map, not so that I can watch people suffer. And presto, we're done. Just like that. I totally did not teleport, and that's why my chat is cleared. And this is something that I didn't want to, or I've stopped doing in my maps. Spoilers, look at all the things. So we just kind of got teleported. I didn't really organize either, that's a huge problem. I didn't organize where I was or anything like that. That's credits. You can see I use redstone and gates, so this is because I completed the parkour. And then there'll be one for trivia, and then one over there for find the button and go to the trivia. And again with the teleporting, yeah, it says right here. Trivia. Each room will have 4 possible answers to a Minecraft-related question. After you are finished, you will receive a piece of wool and place it on the observer in the lobby above the trivia section. Cool. This is the only part where I explained where to place the wool. Unless I did it in the rules, I don't remember. I think I explained that you get a piece of wool. I don't think I explained that you should place it. But even after all that parkour, I think most people would forget. And this is actually a lie. One of them has 8 possible answers. So, but let's continue. I remember being super proud about that door. When was Minecraft released? May 17th, I remember being correct. But I think it's 2009, because 2019 was Minecraft's birthday. And this was built around Minecraft's birthday. Man, it's only been since 2019 that I started making maps, really. I've improved a lot. What version of the game was llamas added? Oh, do I remember this? 1.10. Magma blocks were added. I think igloos and polar. I think it's a 1.11. Let's go. At what Y level do you start taking damage in the void? Okay, this is obviously changed right as of 1.18. And I think I even got it wrong in the context of Minecraft because of how I recorded it. I just manually went down and see when my creative person started taking damage. I think the answer I put was maybe 10? No. 56. 73? 90. 64 would make sense, wouldn't it? I don't know why, but I thought it was some arbitrary number. Not perfect 64. How long is a Minecraft day and night combined? 20 minutes. I know that one, that doesn't change. How many redstone ticks are in a second? So game ticks are 20, but redstone ticks, there's 10. So for every 2 game ticks, there's 1 redstone tick. What is the advancement? Don't look. What is the advancement called that involves you riding a pig off a cliff? Fortunately, I removed this one. I don't really understand why. Maybe it has something to do with Notch. And it is when pigs fly, because that makes the most sense, right? Level 7. With the fill command, what ending of it will make the area filled with its drop blocks? Okay, so when we're typing the fill command, you know, there are different endings. Well, let's just say we want air. There's destroy, hollow, keep, outline, replace. And the one that makes it so that you mind the blocks that it drops is destroy. Alright, last one. Level 8. In redstone, what does a T flip-flop do? Well, it turns a button into a toggle. No, text block. There we are. The cave. You can see I started to kind of mix up stuff, but then I totally missed some spots, like right here. It's very little variety. But you know, I think I did an okay job. Find the button. Remember, it's right here. It's super hard to press. Actually, Optifine zoom so I could show you. There we go. And then you get this diamond pickaxe, like mined, diamond ore. You go back up here. And you have a button. But I want all the diamonds. Level 2, the zoo. I also do clear people's inventories. That's another good map making tool you can do. Is if there's gonna collect stuff and they're not gonna need it later, when you're transporting to different rooms, just clear their inventory. So that way they don't have to manage junk. And they don't use resources from other rooms if they need it for that one, or they don't confuse stuff. Unless you want like trophies, or not that you can get from each room, then you can start clearing specific items, which in case you didn't know, /clear, say I didn't want all players to have a diamond pickaxe. They can keep their diamonds, that's a reward for them. But having that diamond pickaxe is just a no. So I can do this, and it only gets rid of my diamond pickaxe, but I can keep my diamonds. And likewise, if I want myself to only keep the diamond pickaxe, what you can do is put an exclamation point. Where do I put it? Right here? Maybe that's a later version. I don't know that you could do that in 1.13. But you could put an exclamation point in front of it, and it would get rid of everything except for the diamonds. Monkeys. Turtles. I think I did play around with turtle designs for a bit, see if there's any way we can make them better, but ultimately I think I just liked green wool, because I thought that was pretty funny. massive elephant, and of course a lion the same size as the elephant. I like the elephant design, it's not bad. I do not like the lion design. I like the monkeys. Of course, we're going to have to go to the lion's butt to find the first button. Something changed. Ah, yes, the beginning of the something changed. That I used in every single consequent find the button map, and people didn't like. And this time I didn't even have sound cue, so you had no idea. I remember it's on top of the tree this time with the monkeys. Although this one's not too bad because it's a small area and there's not many places to hide a button. This one, on the other hand, this one's bad. Alright, we can do this. And we can go over here. I think ultimately we get a button that we have to put at the diamond block. But I think to begin with, it's up here at this lava flow. I have to painfully swim through. You can kind of see if I do this. But there's a little area up here that goes nowhere. I just didn't want it flowing everywhere, but I remember my beta tester was getting stuck by that. But you can kind of see, hey, there's nothing here. Till we go back. Goodness, there is something. Something changed. But of course it did. Is it up here? I don't think it was up here. If you add a resource pack with your map, which I did not know how to do until Tricraft 3, really, make sure you add low fire, because having high fire is A, horrible for YouTube videos, assuming you can get a YouTuber to play it, and B, it's just annoying for everybody. Doesn't make fun gameplay, and especially in older versions of Minecraft, it takes forever for the fire to burn out. Oh, here it is. This is where you go in, and you'd loot the stronghold. I remember that now. And I think you need to place it at the top. Nope. Okay, we're good. Level 4 of the village. This isn't bad. This is old village style houses. Before 1.14, obviously, because we're in 1.13. There's this button that would fool people. Oh, no, that is something changed. I thought that was a fake button. But I think I was nice in this map and didn't think to add fake buttons. Oh, it was this tree. Yeah, here it is. So you get levitation, and then you gotta go up, 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 right here to this one. Not to that one, so you can jump on the tree. And then you can reach from right here. But I think originally I had people get up there. Oh my goodness. I totally forgot this was a level. I forgot I made a McDonald's. Little drive-thru arrows and everything. And this, if you remember, this is supposed to be a handicapped parking spot, but it's a little tough. And, you know, why did I put the handicap sign in front of the non-handicapped spot? Or no, this was supposed to be like where they put down the wheelchair ramps, and this was supposed to be a handicapped spot. So it's all super confusing. But we walk inside. Good heavens, this is what I was talking about, where you need to change up the floor material. The reason I didn't do it is because of how I made these seats, which, I mean, they're not bad looking. Like, these are just stairs buttoned in with the ground, because the ground's only a slab high. And it adds a nice half slab baseboard, and it allows me to do stuff like this for cool seats. I would have changed the yellow wool, obviously, but I don't mind it. But like for stuff that wasn't around the seats, so maybe something right here, I could have varied up the texture, maybe some polished granite or something. But we go over here behind the counter because we are employees, and this is, you know, this is before I got a job. And I can tell you, behind any sort of fast food counter, this is not the only thing. They don't have ovens in the ground and 2 sinks with the menu. The Mac rib, oh right, this is a McDonald's. The Mac rib, Mac bacon, Mac cookie, Mac apple slices, Mac french fries, Mac fish fillet. In this furnace? Yeah, here it is. We can break blocks of coal. The only piece of black coal, or black coal, a block of coal is right here. And that takes us into the McDonald's sewers. And you could run around here for forever. Oh no, there was a cave-in. And although, yes, there's 1.13 swimming, you need your head submerged for this to work, so this didn't work to come out here, and obviously you can't get through here. Had lots of people and my friends running around this area, remember that, but it's just, they look here and like, oh, there's nothing there, I don't see anything, but if you jump, you can eventually get the chest. And now this pickaxe can break cracked stone bricks, so you can now get through here. And wow, there's nothing. What you actually had to do is you had to mine a bit more, I think. Don't actually remember. But let's continue to dig. Oh no, it's right here. Now we oh yeah, now I remember. Now we can get through here for once. Ew, stop all the sewer water. We can break through the iron bars with shears, and this took a while, but I still think this is fine, right? Because it doesn't take forever. Kind of slows down the pacing a bit, but it was already pretty slow if it took you forever to find the tool. We're gonna break. One day. One day. I'll be. Taylor Swift, don't copyright me. Was it down the drain? Oh no, it's right here, because I remember thinking, oh yeah, everybody's gonna go look down the drain, they're gonna be full. I'm like, what? Where is it? And then I'll walk out and look around more. No, it's right here. Alright. Find the button is complete. And that's that. Obviously, need to work on title spacing, because I'm using a full HD monitor. 192 by 1080. And that did not fit well. I remember I changed up the coloring for Tricraft 2. And then for Tricraft 3, I went off the thing. And I made Tricraft 2 story without thinking about Tricraft 1. And I just kind of had to tie it in somehow. So this is essentially one of the spoilers. This is one of the simulations. And this is just kind of like a beta test from me to take over every Del Taco in the world. But I changed up the colors, is what I was saying, for the triangles. I think orange is staying as trivia, blue became find the button, and then yellow is parkour. But for this map, it's not that. Congrats, you did the thing. I got a title screen. I didn't play stall, and I know some people for some reason don't like stall, but I started playing that in all my maps. I love the song. But yeah, this is the whole map. Not huge. Got my lobby, and then you're seeing, where did I put it? Where were we just 2 seconds ago? What? Yeah, here's the Endings Park. Over by the Desert Parkour. Summatory. PvP, or PvP with friends. I love this arena. So this is something I actually added in one of my first maps ever that I didn't release, and it was back when I used to watch popular MMOs. They used to do a lot of theme parks, so I was super inspired. So I made a theme park, and this was one of the main attractions in there because I saw how they did it, and yeah, it was super, super fun. But I did not, because I built this solo, I wasn't able to do it the way they originally had it. And you see we have resistance, so not more bad. The goal is to knock them off the edge, and we have a knockback 10 stick. Super, super fun. The goal is you wouldn't be in creative mode. But the way that they originally did it is that I saw in amusement park maps and how I had it built in my amusement park. They have redstone torches under each of these. So then as you're running around, just auto place the TNT, and everything would auto light up, right? And it'd be a lot more fun that way. That's a cool minigame idea if you want to build on a survival world. A lot of obsidian, but I mean, there are obsidian farms that you can build out there using, wither breaking and whatnot. Super, super fun if you ask me. Recommend you try it. And that's basically all I have. I suppose I should talk about my other older maps since I don't know when they're going to come up again. So yeah, I had this massive amusement park, as I was saying, called Void Town. And that's because it originally started as just a town. Like, I built a bank, I built a sushi restaurant, having never been into a sushi restaurant at that point. And all of this map, and that map, and the map I made after that, and the one for Preston, were done on a giant, iMac that we had just kind of sitting in our living room. I was playing this Minecraft at 20 FPS, and I was having the time of my life. just kind of building all these things. And I I should say that for the first 3 to 4 years of me playing Minecraft, I never known anything else besides using a trackpad. I played Minecraft for the first 3 to 4 years with a trackpad because that's all we had, and then I used an Apple mouse, which isn't much better, but it's a little better, where there's no actual scroll wheel, there's only one click, although I think it can detect whether you're clicking left or right side. You just have to manually set that. It doesn't automatically know to do that. I think double click would be right click for the mouse. The next map I made after that Void Town expanded into an amusement park, and I kept on adding to that after, was a burning map, because that's another thing popular most would do, is you do these burning maps. So I made a modern house to the best of my ability, and maybe I'll release that for nostalgia's sake. I still have all the drives for all these worlds, and I have Burning House. It was Burning Modern House, I think I called it, because I don't think they'd done a modern house at that point. I think eventually they did, but it is towards the beginning of them doing that kind of series. And I think it turned out pretty well. It was almost all redstone based, except for the teleport commands, obviously. I had a bunch of dispensers with lava above it. I didn't think to add TNT or anything, but they were fun. And then I made Story of Preston, which you can still see. Maybe I'll link his video in the description of this one so you guys can watch him play through my fan map, so should you desire. But yeah, that's basically it. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be visiting those old maps that I've talked about in all my future videos, hopefully. Maybe I'll play them towards the end of the series, but I want to get through all my published map first. On my minigame maps, I have some guest appearances from my old beta testers and see what they can bring to light as far as verbiage and what their experiences were, because obviously their experiences were different than mine, and what I remember isn't necessarily the whole story. And I think for my two smaller maps, Chromatic Clamber and Water Battles, we'll just combine those into one video, just because there's not a lot to do in either of them. But I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, and as the cue card says,